Pete Thompson can tell you what channels it is on the normal, because I have no idea, because I won't watch normal television, Pete.
26 in Atlantic County, 4 in Cape May and Cumberland County. So, and then it's 22 specifically in Millville, but a lot of places have it on at 4. I know any Cape May County is 4. I think it's 22 in Cape May or Cumberland County. So, I just always say, people are like, "What channel is that?" And I say, "Well, where do you live?"
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's the season is wrapping down, so just a couple of locker room shows left. But I got to imagine it's a great time of the year, and we're going to be live video this week of St. Augustine and St. Joe's Montvale. That should be, this is a really big, almost respect-type game for the Hermits. As this is what they were trying to build towards. They got the number 1 seed. They have a home game, and now they're going to face a North Jersey Power. So there's a lot of buzz and attention around that game, PT.
Sure is. That'll be Mike Frankel's second game. He's going to start at Washington Township and Williamstown first tomorrow night. I'm starting at Hamilton in Group 4. They're the top seed, and they're home against Toms River South. And then I'm just going to bounce up Route 54 there and go check out the big battle between Cinnaminson and Buna. I think that's 2 7-1 teams. So 5-4 seed. Buna is home. Buna's been playing well. But, anything can happen in those 5-4 matchups. So I expect to have 2 good games tomorrow night as well. And I know our cameras will also be at Sterling Delsey, Central, and Bridgeton. That's another 2-pack. Of course, all the Millville games you can watch on SNJ today, both on the website and on Channel 22 in Cumberland County. So Millville travels to Cherokee in Group 5, but I think I counted them up total. I think there's 25 games total, the playoff games between tomorrow and Saturday that we're going to have all our cameras at. So we'll have a very busy show Saturday night, 7 o'clock to 7:30.
Yeah, check that out. And obviously, we told you the game that we'll have is St. Joe's Montvale at St. Augustine. You can watch that game on our website if you can't make it. If you're going to the game, bring your radio with you, and we'll have the play-by-play for you. PT, obviously, as this has been a big year for the Prep, and a lot of people kind of will have their eyes on this game, wondering, have they? They got the number 1 seed. They were 8-0. They're playing against St. Joe's Montvale, which is just 5-3, but we know they play a national schedule. Their losses, 2 of them are out of state, and it seems like this is the kind of game that they have been, as we mentioned, building towards. But you're bouncing around to all these schools. It seems like this year this was kind of like something that was almost inevitable for them after they won that game against St. Joe to start the year.
Very much so. St. Augustine's been one of the better teams. They're certainly the best team in the Cape Atlantic League, and they're one of the best teams in all of South Jersey, and that includes the West Jersey teams like Cherokee or the Lenapes of the world that I've seen. That said, I think one of Montvale's wins, if I'm not mistaken, is Don Bosco. So, I mean, when one of your wins is a team that perennially is mentioned in the USA Today top 25 high school football rankings, whoa. So that's going to be, that win is an 8 seed, not an 8 when they're St. Joe Montvale, right? So it's a tall order, but I know that, like you say, that's what Mark Reardon and Charlie Roman and all the Hermits, the entire program has been gearing towards. It's just funny to me because I think back to that first year I got in South Jersey, and, St. Joe played on Saturdays. They didn't have lights. They played on Saturdays, and they played on a very poor grass field. It was muddy and gross, and, St. Augustine was like I'm talking about St. Augustine, they were like the Duke of football, right? I mean, they had a great basketball team, but nobody cared about their football team. And now the Hermits are, right up there. And like you said, this is what the program's been building toward. And we get a big answer to that question of are they ready tomorrow night.
All right, Pete Thompson, SNJ Today, along with Mike Frankel. They'll have all the highlights from all the games. And, of course, we'll have the countdown to kickoff with Cole and Pete starting at 6 o'clock. A lot of playoff games around the area. All right, PT, things on the lighter side for you here. By the way, the Flyers are not playing very well. What is your first impressions, the first month impressions of new coach Dave Haxtell?
Well, I know that he worked him out real hard yesterday, and I think, again, just a grueling workout coming off an embarrassment against the Avalanche. I think he's doing the best he can with the tools that he's given, quite frankly. How is he going to predict that a guy that, had lit the lamp like crazy last season wouldn't have a goal yet, and Jake Voracek? Giroux, I don't think, has that many goals. They're one of the NHL teams that's scoring goals. And, you have nights where Neuvirth stands on his head and plays unbelievable, and then nights like the other night. I put a thing up on Facebook and said, was that a bad goal or a fluke goal? And as somebody that's laced him up, and he, I know it doesn't really count, but even in a charity aspect, put the goalie pads on, I call that a fluke goal, because if you saw that replay, I mean, that's a 1 in 1,000 shot. Kudos to Jerome McGinley, but it just set the tone for the whole game. 57 seconds into the game, the down 1-0, and then, you would have thought they would have come out strong in the second period, and they came out in the second period and laid an egg again. I mean, they had 2 goals scored in the first minute there, so that was basically all she wrote. I think Hackstall is doing the best job that he can with the tools that he has. It's just when you lost Sean Couturier, but then he comes back, but still he's missing Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, who's a checking guy and a grinder guy. It's bad enough that they can't put the puck in the net, but when you can't stop the other team, you're really in trouble. And obviously tonight, Alexander Ovechkin and the Capitals present a huge, huge challenge.
Yeah, that game's over on our sister station, WPG Talk Radio 1450. PT, I was driving into work this morning, and this morning during Mike and Mike Golick ate 36 powdered donuts for the Wheel of Death from the Levitard Show. Do you believe that you could, in fact, eat 36 powdered donuts in the length of this radio program?
Were they the little pop donuts, or were they?
Yeah, the little guys, the little sugar powdered donuts, the little guys that you get in like the box.
Little munchkins.
Munchkins. There you go. Well, they're not like the round holes.
Okay. So they're not a full donut; they're munchkins. 36 munchkins. Yeah, I think I could probably.
What was the time frame?
Donut to me.
I think it's a 4-hour thing.
Okay, over 4 hours, right. 36 powdered donuts in 4 hours. Could you complete that challenge?
That's a lot of starch. I think I have to wash it down. I mean, I really do think I could do it.
I don't know. Did they let him? Did he like chocolate milk?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Golick did it. He was able to do it. I don't think Stu Gotts finished it.
Yeah,
I think he tapped out.
See, I think milk is a mistake because I guess it's supposed to coat your stomach, but. See, that's the thing. Just the thought of I'm not a big powdered donut guy to begin with because you're always like packing your lips afterwards because you can't get any saliva going. Yeah, more power to them. Now 36 hot dogs.
Yeah, 36 hot dogs. My God, Jesus. Hey, by the way, all right. So one of the things we like to do with the PT on the Thursday edition is we like to put you on the spot, right?
All right, have at it.
We like to get you in trouble all the time. Now, last week, I told you I had Sixers tickets. Saturday night, you were in. We had the Sixers tickets. They were taking us to dinner. They actually added to the list, PT. When we got there, they got this new lounge that they take people to at halftime. And in the lounge, we hung out with your man, Be Free. The owner was in there, Josh Harris. And we had all sorts of good times. So I've been extending yet again. Monday night, can Pete Thompson make it to the Sixers?
I hope so. As of right now, I don't have anything on the calendar. First, I got to figure out. Wait, let me see where I'm going to park the helicopter. You heard about what happened to Josh Harris?
Yeah, and you know what? Josh Harris, and I'm not a tall man. Josh Harris comes up to about my chin.
Wow.
Yeah, he is a really small guy. Let me tell you, though, this new little lounge thing they got going on, PT, this is right up your alley because if it's free, it's for me. But
yeah.
You know where it is?
Lexus Club is?
You passed the Lexus Club. You actually walked through the post-game interview, press conference room, that little, that little makeshift that we were there. Then you go through the curtain. And then down where the Sixers office is, that's what it used to be. There's a door, and there's a girl that stands in front of the door.
The logo is on the floor? Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about, in that back hallway there.
Yeah, it used to be their offices, but now they're at the Naval Yard.
Right. So
yeah.
There's a big Sixers logo on the carpet? Yeah.
No. Well, the floor is like a rubber Sixers basketball court. It's like blue and red, but it's like a rubber basketball court, and then they have all different things for you to take pictures up, but there's a bar. It's like the George Costanza where he was like, there was a bar, and, like you remember that Seinfeld episode when he got into the Forbidden Lounge?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a bar in there, there's couches, and there's like this lounge that they takes random people. But I know that's right up your alley, PT.
Well, that sounds very enticing. I'm not going to lie to you. That sounds very right up my alley. Yes, I couldn't.
By the way,
more.
I got a text message from a listener. Golick ate 38 donuts in just over 10 minutes this morning.
Oh, I don't know about that. My goodness. That's impressive. And then he went to the hospital to get his stomach pumped.
Well, PT, we got to run. We got to break.
Hey,
unfortunately.
Congrats on being an uncle again, and also a quick shout-out to Tina McGarry from your place. What a great radio employee for so many years.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. We missed her already. I talked to her this morning at 5:30 a.m.
Just to wake her up and make her feel good. That'll boy.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care, pal. Talk to you.
Check out Pete on television, 7 to 7:30, SNJ Today, Channel 789, Comcast in Atlantic County.